I'm Will Lockamy.
And I'm Reed Lockamy.
This is the Iron Bowl Hour.
Or as we like to call it, the show that never would have guessed you could fix an injured knee by blowing cold air on it. He's an orthopedist.
On tonight's show.
Is $1 million too much to spend on a marching band?
For that one, yes.
Let me just point out to the viewers, Reed, this is the guy that was pulled over for going too slow as a teenager. I'm not even kidding. Reed, it's time for Agree to Disagree, and as brothers, we like this because we don't like each other much.
Yeah, I can't even look at you, Will. Many Alabama fans found themselves holding their breath when A.J. McCarron went down with an apparent knee injury last weekend. Would Alabama maintain its position atop the polls throughout the season without their veteran quarterback?
Are we even serious here? Let's start from the very beginning with the fact that people
Are we about to agree for the first time ever?
That people were holding their breath when he was injured.
Yeah, because he's that important to the team.
Yeah, but he was hardly injured, and it was obvious by them fixing his injury by blowing on his knee.
Yeah, that's
what kind of injury can be fixed by having your knee blown
Well, listen,
on,
Will, that's a very serious treatment, and there's a name for it that I can't say on this family television show. But what are you saying about this?
I'm saying that it doesn't matter. You can put anyone in at the quarterback position, and they're going to be just fine. That offensive line, Reed, starting with Barrett Jones, we know how good they are. They can protect anyone. Reed, let's just throw grandmother in there, let her play quarterback for Alabama, and they still do not drop a game.
Which grandmother, Will? Our still living or now deceased grandmother?
Either one.
Because, okay,
either
well,
one.
You think either one? You think
either
they're that good?
One, they're that
well,
good.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think if you lose A.J. McCarron, right, who has literally been whipped into shape by Nick Saban in recent years and has turned into a really good quarterback,
He's
right?
good, yeah.
Yeah, so I've even heard people use the word Heisman in the same sentence. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman. He clearly will not. But, I mean, the point is people have said it with a straight face, right? If you take him out of the equation, you put in a backup quarterback, and who even knows who that is for Alabama? Is it Phillip Sims? Is it Blake Sims? Is it Phil Sims? Is it Philip Ely? Is it Philip Eli? Is it Eli Gold? Is it that lady from The View a couple of years ago? I don't even know who the backup quarterback is, right? So I don't, I think that the thing is, he's the name, he's the guy who has the reputation, and he's the leader that Alabama needs on the field.
Anybody can go into that position. All you're going to miss if A.J. McCarron's not in the game is that ridiculous tattoo.
Ridiculous tattoo. That's a fantastic tattoo, Will.
You haven't seen the tattoo.
That tattoo deserves a lot of credit for the success that Alabama has had. I think that,
Every player on that team, Reed, is as good at their position as A.J. McCarron is at his position, so therefore it doesn't matter. There's enough support everywhere to support whoever they put in a quarterback.
But here's who's not as good at that position are the guys who are behind A.J. McCarron, and you have to have a general on the field. You have to have someone who can lead the troops down the field. Listen, in order for Eddie Lacy to run it 75 yards, somebody who other teams believe maybe can throw the ball has to hand it off to him.
No, Reed.
Yes.
It's called the Wildcat. Just snap it right to him. He's fine.
I don't think that's, listen, that's Wildcat works for a play or two here and there when the other team thinks, well, maybe they can do something else with the football.
I'm sure Eddie Lacy can get the ball and just do that at some point.
Have you checked out Auburn's offense this year? Well, once other teams know what you're going to do,
we're talking football here.
Or if you have an offensive coordinator who doesn't know what your team's going to do, right, then your offense becomes dysfunctional, and without A.J. McCarron, Alabama is in big trouble. They have half of a serious game coming up on their schedule, and without A.J. McCarron, they cannot lose that game as convincingly as they did last year.
You brought up Auburn, showing you have no idea what you're talking about with football. Upsets are exciting, and there has been no shortage of them lately. But have there been too many? Is college football too unpredictable?
Without a doubt, college football is too unpredictable, Will. Listen, I like things to be the way they're supposed to be. I like the teams or the people. I'm a big Tiger Woods fan, Will. Do you have any idea how much coffee I've had to drink in the last couple of years to hold it together while Tiger Woods is not winning golf tournaments? I like things to be the way they're supposed to be, and I don't like for teams like Texas Tech to beat other respectable teams who are in the top 5. It's ridiculous.
No, and that was actually expected, Reed. That's a Tommy Tuberville team. Those are the kinds of games they win.
He does win like 115% of those games. That's true.
Let me just point out to the viewers, Reed, this is the guy that was pulled over for going too slow as a teenager. I'm not even kidding.
Well, suspicion of drunk driving, but I was actually just going too slow. That's true, yeah.
I mean, this is no surprise that you would want everything to be as boring as possible. You're a guy who loves romantic comedies, right? Because it's all going to be okay in the end.
No, because in the middle of the movie there, you're never 100% sure. And what's going to have, people are going to have hurt feelings, Will. So no, I do not like romantic comedies. I prefer documentaries about historical events that I already know the outcome of. Yeah.
Scooby-Doo?
I don't prefer Scooby-Doo either because dogs frighten me. But listen, my point is this. I like things to be safe. I like things to be predictable. Occasionally it's fine if a team, they beat them by a couple of points, but it was going to be close and everybody knew it. But I do not like it when teams who are no good at football wind up. I don't like when Appalachian State or Appalachian State or whoever beats Michigan, right? That's no good for anybody. That just crushes your hope, and sort of trust in humanity and the universe. And this is not what I need.
I really don't even have to say anything here because clearly all of Alabama agrees with me, Reed. It would be no fun if we knew what was going to happen. Well, look, it's like Alabama season, right?
Yeah.
Is Alabama season any fun to anyone at all?
Yes, to me it's the best thing ever, right? Because this is what I like and thank heavens for Alabama, the only team right now that's keeping things, a team that is so predictable and so good, they can have only one game on their schedule, they can lose it and still win a national championship. That's why I love Alabama.
Yeah, they don't have any games on their schedule this year. They're going to win every game by
Thank
20,
heavens.
30, 40 points.
Yes, that's the way it is. I like things to be safe and predictable and all that. And besides, let's wrap this up. It's already 7:30. I was supposed to be in bed half an hour ago.
Okay, Reed.
No.
Well, you're not going to like this. Very unsafe after the break. I'm going to go to Tammy from Paul Finebaum Show's house. Believe that? Reed, there have been a lot of famous callers to Paul Finebaum's radio show. We've known a few of them personally.
No doubt about it.
But none as famous as Tammy. And
Tammy.
Oh, Tammy. I recently got to go to her house, meet her, see what she's all about, even met the fam, Reed.
Oh, Tammy.
Yeah.
A redneck is somebody that talks without thinking and don't care.
War eagle, fly down the field, ever to conquer, never to yield. War eagle, fearless and true, fight on orange and blue.
She's not putting on a show. She is that enthused and passionate about whatever it is she may be saying.
She's the real deal. She's one of the most real people I've ever met.
She's a really good fan. She's not a bad fan until Paul pisses her off.
Hi, I'm Will Lockamy for the Iron Bowl Hour. We're here in Kellyton, Alabama, which you've never heard of and neither have I. It's actually outside of a town that you've also never heard of. We're about an hour away from any kind of civilized life, and we're in front of the house of Tammy from the Paul Finebaum Show. Let's go meet Tammy, spend the day with her, and see what she knows and what it's like to be a local celebrity in these parts. How did you initially start listening to Paul years ago, or how long have you been listening?
I started, oh my goodness, I had a FedEx driver come in one day, and that FedEx driver told me, he said, Tammy, you need to listen to Finebaum. And I started listening, and there was all them bams going on about how Georgia about it, and that was my first call ever.
Hey, Paul.
Hi there.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
I'm a first-time caller, and I'm probably the redneckest person that I ever called. Well, first of all, I'm an Auburn fan and always will be.
I just kept hearing this, Paul! It was like, I wasn't sure if it was a goat in heat. And finally, we landed on Tammy. And it turned out to be her, and she was yelling about something I had said about Auburn.
Okay, so have you always been an Auburn fan your whole life?
Well, ever since I was 6 years old. When I went to Auburn with my uncle, and he took me to the art class,
Yeah.
and all that, while I was there, the cheerleaders came in, and
Right.
they helped me do a little bit of stuff, and from then on, I was hooked.
So tell me about Alabama and your honest, actual feelings about the University of Alabama and people that root for that school.
They all stink.
But you say that, but your daughter.
She stinks too. I get all over her butt all the time.
All right, Marlena, the eldest of the Tammy children, you're a big Alabama fan. Your mom, obviously, a big Auburn fan.
Auburn.
How did that work? Like, why did you end up Alabama and your mom Auburn?
I spent a lot of time with Meemaw and Granddaddy, my mom's parents,
Right.
and they ruined me from the get-go.
Gotcha.
Big Al and the Roll Tide, and that's all it took.
All right, so your mom's she's not an old lady at all, but she is a grandmother. She's got
Yes.
several grandchildren.
She
so
is. She
how
does.
is she as a grandmother?
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked. I honestly think if she could have been a grandparent first,
Right.
she may not have been quite so embarrassing for me and Devin growing up. but
Embarrassing. Oh,
she's-
come on. She's not embarrassing.
Oh, come on. she is.
On an embarrassing scale, 1 to 10, 10 being the most tamified you can get, how embarrassing is your mom?
At times she can be a 9.
I would describe myself as one big, hot mama.
Calling Paul is something that she lives for, so
Right.
I don't let the embarrassment get the best of me.
And I I love my mom. She's crazy. She's a good time. All my friends are like, you've got the coolest mom ever.
Right.
But then there are those times where, it's...
Oh, what's that song? What's that song? Big bottom women.
People reach different levels of celebrity, and there's a certain kind of celebrity that goes by just one name, by just your first name. You have Oprah, Madonna, Tammy.
Oh, whatever.
Tammy, you're a one-name celebrity. There are very few of these. Paul's not a one-name celebrity. He's Paul Finebaum. You're Tammy.
What does that mean?
It means you're up at the high level of celebrity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mom talks
Right.
a little bit, and she'll be saying something, and 90% of the time somebody stops her, and you're Tammy from Finebaum.
A day for Tammy would not be complete without a phone call to Paul Finebaum.
Tammy is up next. Hey, Tammy.
Paul,
Hey there.
you are wrong. I'm going to tell you right now you're wrong. You might predict 75, but we're going 93 because we're going to finish out the game.
Tammy, do you know how tiring and boring and pathetic your calls about how great Auburn is going to be are to the audience?
Let me tell you something, Finebaum. I don't care what you say, but I'm telling you that we're going to be, I tell you what, LSU's going to finish Alabama this week. And when LSU gets through with Alabama, and we're going to get through with Georgia and Stanford, and then we're going to get y'all again. We're going to get y'all. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't care how boring you get, but let me tell you something, Finebaum. You are oh my God, you are strictly nothing but a bam. You ain't no good for nothing, because all you want to do is take up for Bama.
Are you guys entertained by this?
That's all you want to do. That's all you ever do is take up for Bama. That's all you ever do.
I'm not even talking about Bama here. We're talking about your team.
Huh? Paul? All I say, go LSU, go LSU. Come on, Tigers, let's go, Tigers. War Eagle. Makes me sick. He makes me sick. Oh, he makes me sick.
Great dogs.
God, mighty.
A couple of times I've listened to it where she's like, you have to hear what I said, and other than that, I try not to.
Tammy is unconcerned about anything. I mean, she's fun. I mean, she's hilarious.
War Eagle, baby.
I don't know what was more terrifying, her yelling next to me talking to Paul, or all those dead animals on the wall.
It was the dead animals.
It was the dead animals for sure. Up next, let's go talk to Paul Finebaum. Reed, he's up at the top of Vulcan. Reed, it's generally now time for rapid fire questions on the grill, but it looks like Paul Finebaum's too famous to come up here to Vulcan.
And unfortunately, Will, I'm too famous to go to him, so who exactly is going to win this battle of wills? We're about to find out.
Reed, it's time for rapid fire questions on the grill, brought to you by Billy's Sports Grill with Paul Finebaum.
Here we go. On a scale from 9 to 10, how good of a coach is Nick Saban?
I have to go higher than 10.
Okay. 11, one higher maybe? 14?
When Killian,
Okay, that's
Nice.
good. That's good.
Bigger loss, the Honey Badger or Michael Dyer?
Michael Dyer. But yeah, I hated to see what happened to the Honey Badger, why he let his whole career go up in smoke.
Yeah. Ooh.
Nice.
Same applies for Michael Dyer. All right, who wins an SEC championship first? Missouri, Texas A&M, or Florida State?
I think Florida State.
Okay.
Better feature outside of a football stadium, the Walk of Champions at Alabama or the portraits of assistant coaches' wives at Vanderbilt?
I think the portrait of assistant coaches' wives.
Very important. How many games will Tommy Tuberville win at Auburn next year?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's good. That's not bad.
He's
Yeah.
got 6 fingers. Better grip on reality, Tammy or Jim from Crestwood?
I'd say Jim from Crestwood.
If I say war, you say eagle, war?
Eagle?
On a scale of 1 to 14, how legitimate is Alabama's 1941 national championship?
1.
Okay.
Better Alabama football-related business, Bryant Bank or Denny's Restaurant?
I like Bryant Bank since that's where my money is.
Okay. Very good.
Very good, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Very good.
Paul Finebaum, king of all.
King would be work.
Just
That would
king?
work.
We'll just
Just
stop
king.
at
That's not
king.
bad. Yeah.
Paul, when things started going bad in Auburn, how big was a smile on a scale of 1 to 10 on your face?
Oh, I mean, it's I'm sorry to hear it. I mean, I'm a big Gene Chizik fan, and
But even if you
particularly,
weren't,
I'm a friend of his wife on Facebook.
right, you and John are pretty tight. Still, this is like gold for you.
Well, the first loss wasn't that big a deal. Clemson, Mississippi State got a little more exciting. Boy, La Monroe was close.
So close.
The fifth loss was what, Vestavia High School.
I think that's right.
It
Yeah.
was,
Rebels.
It's you know, do you remember when you were young? Well, I guess you guys are young.
I do
like
know
3
what's
weeks
currently
ago.
I
happening.
mean, you always
yeah.
think about that when you're 15 or 16, that special fall, walking with the blonde. That's what this fall is for me.
If you were in charge at Auburn, would you get rid of Chizik at this point, or do you think?
First person I would get rid of is that stupid Aubie, the mascot.
Oh, awful. That tail is ridiculously long. Yeah.
But would I get rid of Chizik? No.
Okay.
Who do you go with if you do get rid of him?
Yeah, I mean,
Turner
that's
Gill is the
That's the
obvious
problem.
choice,
I
I
mean,
think.
yeah. I was for Turner Hill before I was against him.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, but seriously though, do you think that they should stay the course with Chizik, or do you think it's?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, but I wish you'd quit calling me seriously.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a good twist on that.
I mean, just with the recruiting, that's really, I guess, all you lose at this point. But still, it's a big enough reason to keep him, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's too early. I don't know when the show's aired.
This week.
But right now it looks pretty grim. I think the Vanderbilt game is very important.
Very reminiscent of the 2008 season, where they also traveled to.
After that game, they fired Tony Franklin. I suggest if Auburn loses again, fire Tony Franklin again.
So, with this widening gap, across the state here between Auburn and Alabama, what do you think Auburn has to do to turn the tide, so to speak? I mean, how long is this going to take?
I would say start poisoning their trees.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
I can't think of
poison a
anything.
That's what
statue?
you're
I don't
calling
know.
players
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Trees?
I've always thought the Saban statue would be. Of course, it's the shortest statue, so that's where I would aim.
It's actually not short at all. It's amazing the height
They
of that
built
thing.
him up.
Yeah,
The feet are very large.
It's not real life though.
Is there?
I've
is-
seen Nick Saban. He's like,
It's definitely not real life.
He's
that's
under
for
this table
sure.
now.
who's taller, Nick Saban or Terry Bowden?
Oh, surely Saban, right?
I think Saban.
Surely.
It's got to be. Yeah. Who's around her? That's Bowden. Yeah. Is there any set
See,
of
a whole nother segment
circumstances
starting here.
under which you could ever envision Nick Saban having this sort of year? I mean, he's had some bad losses in the
I
past.
can't. I'll be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
And that's the point of the show. I can't envision. Shouldn't drink before this. I can't envision Nick Saban ever losing another game.
It really is almost hard to. I mean, I know that sounds like a joke,
I mean,
but
I know people say they lost to LSU, but they really didn't. They outplayed LSU, and had
They
to
won
wo-
in every phase
Yeah, I
of the game.
mean, I don't
Good
count
point,
that as a
Steve.
loss.
Right.
No, neither did the BCS voters, apparently.
Apparently.
Speaking of BCS,
Question. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I have a
Okay.
question. So change.
Who
upcoming-
are these guys? I mean, I thought I was supposed to be interviewed
Just
by
a few more minutes, Mr.
by the Lockamy brothers. I think we got the Jonas brothers instead.
Oh no, that would be exciting.
Thanks.
With the playoff system upcoming, do you see this as an improvement over the BCS, and do you think it's enough? The new playoff system.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, that's a.
It's
Do you think it needs to extend to 8 at some point?
No. I like it the way it is. Alabama's in there every year.
Right.
That's good. Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be cool because if Alabama trips up, then they still can work their way back
It's
in.
all
Where
comes
now
back to
it's more
Alabama.
problematic.
It's going to take an injury or 3 or 4 for Alabama to trip up, in my mind. Do you think the SEC has any chance of losing a national championship game until Nick Saban's gone? And I mean that
Well,
because it's either going to be
not
him.
to be persnickety here, but they lost one last year.
Well, that's
See,
right.
that's-
Yeah, but while still winning.
It's what it's going to take. Either Nick Saban's not going to win one, or another SEC team's going to be better than them somehow.
Yeah, well,
I
I don't think that will ever happen.
Are the tables turning in the SEC?
At least not in my lifetime, which, quite frankly, is getting rather
Ooh, I was
short.
going to say.
That's right.
So it
Yeah,
could be
not
soon.
Very long.
Kind of running out of time here.
Is the East going to rise again, so to speak, or is this the resurgence of the East we're
I
seeing?
think it's been
now?
a good year for the East, but the problem is that they're cannibalistic. I mean, we know it's the game at the Swamp, and then Florida, Georgia. They're all kind of eating each other.
And some people in the state of Kentucky probably literally are cannibalistic.
Eating each other, yeah.
Do you think who represents the East in the SEC championship game this year?
I guess it will come down to the Vanderbilt Kentucky game, won't it?
This maybe something, yeah, somehow in a 4-way tiebreaker. Yeah.
Would you guys excuse me? I'm about to interview Pat Dye.
Oh, that's
Oh.
fine. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
pick
wait
back
for
up later,
Pat.
yeah, no doubt.
Tell him we said hey.
We are back with former Auburn coach Pat Dye. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Well, I've been better.
I bet you have. And I was offended by that because
So was I.
Coach Dye's been, and an integral part of our show for a long time.
Any truth to the rumor that the upcoming film The Hobbit is actually a documentary about Auburn's undefeated season in 1993?
The Hobbit, I'm not familiar with that.
It's a Terry Bowden joke.
Reed, it's time for the Wickles Pickles Picks of the Week. And of course, when the Lockamy brothers pick pickles, we pick Wickles.
That's because a Wickle will tickle your taste buds just right. Well, now at this point in the season, we've been picking games all season long, and right now I have a score of 179, and you have a score of 187, which is not good news for you, Will. It seems like you're a juggalo there, maybe. Not good news for you because the lower the score, the better, right? Now we have 2 games to pick this weekend, starting with a classic rivalry, Alabama versus Tennessee. This game is in Knoxville. Will, what is going to happen?
That's right, Reed. In Knoxville, and with it being such a classic rivalry, I think this will be a close game for Alabama. Alabama by 24 points.
That would be somewhat of a close game for them this season, it seems like. I'm going to say it'll be even a little closer than that. I think Alabama wins, but maybe only by 14.
You are crazy.
No, we'll see about that. All right, now the other game, Will, this weekend is, of course, Auburn is going up to Nashville to lose to Vanderbilt. How do you see this game playing out?
Funny enough, Reed, I'm going to go crazy here and predict that this will be Auburn's week to finally pull out a win. Vandy will be Vandy, as they always are, and Auburn will win by 10 points.
This is not our agree to disagree segment, but it sure feels like it because that is ridiculous. Vanderbilt is supposed to win this game. Vanderbilt will win this game. I say Vanderbilt by 1 point in this game.
By 1 point? What is this, Mississippi State and Auburn?
It's going to be a win for Vandy is what it's going to be.
And now's the time to go follow us right now on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's at the Iron Bowl Hour.
Yeah, and once again, Will, on behalf of the show, I would like to apologize to the students at Elm Ridge Elementary for the event we had the other day where we passed out the t-shirts. We very clearly said to the screen printer that the t-shirt was supposed to read the Iron Bowl Hour, and certainly we did not mean to cause any tears.
Awful. That's all the time we have for the Iron Bowl Hour. I'm Will Lockamy.
And I'm Reed Lockamy.
Roll Eagle Reed.
And War Tide, Will.
The Iron Bowl Hour is brought to you by Wickles Pickles. Add an exciting new taste to everything from Thanksgiving dinner to Saturday sandwiches. A Wickles pickle will tickle your taste buds just right. Billy's Sports Grill in Birmingham, located in English Village, Overton Road, and coming soon to Northport. Billy's, come on in and feed your goat. And Vulcan Park and Museum, home to the world's largest cast iron statue. For more information, log on to www.visitvulcan.com.
The season without their veteran quarterback. What will the train have to say about that?
Am I allowed to say? Huh? Yeah. I mean, can I say it? Okay.